Imagine picking up the morning paper and reading the scientific confirmation that we are not alone. There are vast green forests, crystal clear lakes, and towering sapphire structures on the surface of the moon. The reports detailed incredible lunar wildlife: single-horned goats wandering through the trees, miniature zebras grazing on plains, and giant bipedal beavers walking upright with their young. The peak of these discoveries was a race of intelligent bat-winged humanoids called Vespertilio Homo. They reportedly lived in communities, conversed, and built magnificent temples. This reads like fiction today, but in August 1835, it was a front-page news series published by the New York Sun, and millions of people across the globe believed it. The sheer reach of the story suggests that 19th century readers weren't suffering from simple gullibility. To understand why this worked, we have to look at the specific historical and geographical conditions that allowed the impossible to feel plausible. The articles were originally written by a reporter named Richard Adams Locke. To make the story unassailable, he anchored it to Sir John Herschel, one of the most respected astronomers in the world. Locke chose a target who couldn't defend himself. At the time the story broke, Herschel was conducting real astronomical observations at the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa, completely unaware his name was being used to sell newspapers in America. This map visualization shows the physical reality of communication in 1835. To verify a story, a letter had to travel this exact shipping route. A ship had to sail from New York to South Africa, and then another ship had to carry a response back. This distance created a massive delay in fact-checking. Locke exploited this physical lag, ensuring his claims could circulate for months before the truth had any chance of catching up. Borrowing the reputation of an expert is a powerful tool for deception, provided you place that expert entirely out of the reach of verification. Locke didn't invent the idea of lunar life. He leaned on the public's existing expectations, fueled by figures like the Reverend Thomas Dick, who had already convinced many that the moon and stars were heavily populated with life. To bypass skepticism, Locke hid his fiction behind dense scientific jargon. The highly specific language was designed to overwhelm the average reader's critical thinking with a sense of authority. The scale comparison shows a standard 1830s telescope next to Locke's claims. The article described a lens measuring 24 feet across, weighing 7 tons, with a magnification of 42,000 times, a device that defied the laws of physics. Presenting precise measurements and fake math tricks the human brain. If the numbers look empirical, we tend to assume the story built around them must also be factual. When a deception aligns with what a culture already wants to believe, complex jargon acts as a shield against scrutiny. A clever lie still needs a delivery system. For Locke, that system was the penny press, a shift in how newspapers were printed and sold that began in 1833. Before this, papers were expensive and dry. Benjamin Day's New York Sun cost only 1 cent, making it the first paper affordable for the city's working class. This chart shows 2 critical metrics: the price drop versus the volume spike needed for profit. The Sun relied on advertising revenue, which demanded massive audiences. This created a desperate mandate. To maintain circulation, they published constant sensation: murders, suicides, and Batmen on the moon. The penny press established an environment where shocking engagement was fundamentally more profitable than factual truth. Locke eventually ended the narrative by claiming the giant telescope accidentally acted as a burning glass. The sun's rays reportedly caught the lens and set fire to the observatory, halting all observations. The lie unraveled as actual scientists questioned the optics, and Herschel himself was forced to field questions from people who still believed the story. Despite the exposure, the New York Sun faced no consequences. They never issued a formal retraction, and their circulation remained higher than ever before. Even Edgar Allan Poe, who had written his own moon voyage story, realized Locke had outmaneuvered him. Locke had proven that straight-faced sensationalism sold far better than satire. Locke's success demonstrated that when the primary goal of news is engagement and the obstacle is distance, a carefully constructed fiction can effectively rewrite reality.